by calling our tax relief hotline. Dial 800-390-8432. 800-390-8432. That's 800-390-8432. Or visit TRA.com. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
My mom, my dad, works for Caltrans. On the freeway.
Right next to speeding cars.
Please be careful. Flashing lights mean move over.
Brought to you by the kids of Caltrans.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
Landman, TV's biggest phenomenon, returns to Paramount Plus. From Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Yellowstone, starring Billy Bob Thornton.
You have to know the rules of the game and bend them, and you really have to know them to break them.
Demi Moore.
I want success. Get it for me.
Andy Garcia, Ali Larter, and Sam Elliott.
You don't even know the game you're playing, do you?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
It's time for the kickoff show. It's Sunday, and we're locked in on the red and gold.
What a run by George Kittle!
Well, what is going on, 49ers fans? Evan Giddings alongside Lorenzo Neal here for the kickoff show, getting you set for Week 10 between the Niners and the Rams. We are live here at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale, California, right off of Oakmead, a fantastic spot. I see 49ers jerseys. I see a lot of Rams Nation here down low.
Oh, yeah.
And it's understandable because every next game is the biggest game of the season, but this one has a lot on the line.
A lot is an understatement. You look at this Rams team, they're one of the hottest teams in football. They've been cooking in Crisco. And this and 49ers, they're just steady Eddie. They're like the little engine that said, I think I can. They're just chugging along, finding a way to keep the dust in their rearview mirrors, not choking on their own dust. They're finding a way to stay relevant. It's just going to be a great game. It's going to be a great matchup. We know it on paper. Put a fork in them. The Niners should be done today. This is a Rams team that's hot. It's a Rams team that can score. This is a Rams team that got a bunch of veterans. They got an unbelievable defense. They can get after you. It's going to be tough sledding for the San Francisco 49ers. But, woo! Here we go. Game day. Big day today.
I mean, the craziest thing is they have done this before. I remember on Thursday night before that game, everyone counting them out, going into Los Angeles early in the season. Now, a little bit of a difference. You had Fred Warner for that game. You don't have him for this game. And the Rams are pretty much full strength as well. But this was a group that was counted out once before against the Rams. They went down into Los Angeles. Mac Jones orchestrated 2 early touchdown drives. They got out to a 14-point lead. They eventually get to the end of the game where Alfred Collins makes a big stop at the goal line, forces a fumble of Kyren Williams. They go down and win it in overtime with that 4th down stop against Kyren and the Rams once again. But this is a game that right now, the 49ers at 6-3, the Rams at 6-2. If the 49ers could win this game, they would improve to 4-0 in the division. They only won 1 game in the division last year. It's crazy to think about the fact that we're at this point little over midway through the season, and the San Francisco 49ers are in a position to be ahead and in the driver's seat for the NFC West.
It's absolutely amazing. And I think that, they should walk out tonight, little LL Cool J. Mama said knock you out. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I mean, this is not a comeback. This is, like you just alluded to, this is not out of the ordinary for the San Francisco 49ers. Several weeks back, they went down to L.A., in a hostile environment and found a way to win on the road. Huge fourth down play, huge fourth down, and then a huge goal line stance to punch the ball out on the goal line. Rams going in to score. This team has shown you some resilience. I just can't wait to see what we get to see out of this 49ers team today, because they never cease to amaze us. Well, actually, they do amaze us because of the fact this shouldn't be happening. Backup quarterback, backup receivers. You don't have a true number one receiver on the field. Think about it. Your two receivers last year, Debo, of course, and Ayuk. Ayuk goes down. You don't have Ricky Poles drafted to come in and be that number one guy. Ricky Poles, bye-bye. He's out. Yeah. He's not playing. He's injured. So think about it. Who are their true number one? Jennings has been, third in Jennings. He's been a guy that just comes in and make plays on 30. You bring in guys off the street, Bourne. Yep. Look at the guys that's kept up and made big plays. So you are playing with not a true number one receiver, not a true number one quarterback, not a true number one linebacking core, not true number one secondary, and you're in the thick of things. That's pretty amazing, brother. That's pretty amazing.
It's utterly unbelievable, honestly. I mean, again, if you asked me if I knew all those things were going to happen, and I say, fast forward to Week 10, Rams are coming to Levi's Stadium, where would the 49ers be? I would not have them at 6-3. I'm not sure I would have them at 3-6, considering all the injury that they've sustained. But we do know that Mac Jones will be the starting quarterback again today. We can talk about some of the quarterback dynamics moving forward for the 49ers. There is a little bit of progress for Brock Purdy, was more limited or more available, I should say, in practice this week. So the big question is he going to be in uniform as the official backup? Was the emergency last week against the New York Giants? And let's go there, because 2 weeks ago, you and I were talking about a Houston team that kind of demolished the San Francisco 49ers. Exposed them a little bit on the road, 10 a.m. start. That defense was flying all over the field. DeMeco Ryans got that team to play up and at them for the 49ers. But then last week, I thought San Francisco returned to form, and it was their offense low. You and I have talked about it. I think Robert Saleh has done a fantastic job, and this defense, for the most part, has led the Niners to their success this season. Last week, 34 points on the road. They took down a Giants team that was banged up, not as good as in years past, has a rookie quarterback, lost their running back Scadaboo. That was a game where it was kind of just getting back to basics, but it was great to see the offense finally lead the charge.
It really was. We've been talking about it all year that, hey, defense has been holding teams under 21 points or less. And we're like, man, if we have to score over 21, it's going to be a tough out for the San Francisco 49ers because of what we've seen thus far this year. Bless God Almighty, who in the hell left the gate open? Because last week, that offense was humming. They were cooking in Crisco. You saw Purdy. You saw Jones throwing the ball all around the field, hitting the check down, hitting receivers, throwing to Jennings, getting everyone involved. I think the distribution of the football, what Mac Jones has been able to do, has just been, like you said, short of just amazing, and just getting guys involved, keeping the team calm. He has an aura about him. He's a leader. He's a leader of men. If you hear the guys talking about him in the locker room, what the people are saying about this guy, and you keep Purdy on the bench. And I think this is a situation where, look, if something were to happen to Mac Jones, I would want to have Purdy. Yeah. What is wrong with having a guy that's been a starter, that's taking you to a Super Bowl, that's taking you to the NFC Championship game? What's wrong with having him as a backup? But right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stay with this guy. I ask you and turn this around and just look at it. You think about a team in Arizona. You look at the way the backup's playing. Do you go back to the starters? Arizona's in a similar situation. Kyler Murray's ready to go. You paid him a huge contract. Will they go back? And you look at the Niners. You paid Brock Purdy a huge contract. Will you go back? And if so, why and when? If both these quarterbacks. Let's talk about two quarterbacks that that are highly paid. How do you handle it when your team has had some success and with their backups.
Well, I thought it was the correct decision that after the Monday Night Football win for the Arizona Cardinals, they come out and make the decision officially that Kyler Murray is going to be on IR. He's not their starting quarterback anymore. It's Jacoby Brissett because he was surgical against the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, that's not a good defense, but they won a big game. And I thought it was interesting, Lo, for a team in the Cardinals that is probably not going to be in playoff contention, is not going to be challenging, certainly for a division crown. They make a statement that after the first win for Jacoby Brissett, that's their quarterback. That signals to me that this regime in Arizona, this coaching staff, which is not married to Kyler Murray, they are moving away from that guy. That, to me, is the lone difference, the relationship between coaching staff, front office, and quarterback. That's the difference to me between what the Cardinals have and what the 49ers have, because they're not married long-term to Kyler Murray. The 49ers are married long-term to Brock Purdy. But in the short term, I mean, he doesn't have to come home every night with you. You know, he can still be he can still be doing his thing. He can be out and about. You're married to the guy, but you don't have to bring him home every single night. Mac Jones is right. He's your sweetheart right now. He's the one that you're cuddle up with, and he can be the short-term option. So that's where I think the Niners are at in regards to their relationship to the quarterback. They're in love long-term with Brock Purdy, but the emotions, it's impossible to not feel that kind of infatuation with Mac Jones.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. The Arizona Cardinals have turned the page on Brock Purdy. I mean, on Kyler Murray. They have turned the page. The 49ers haven't turned the page. And this is a new relationship. They still love this guy, but they're saying, look, you're going to be our guy, but right now, hey, look, we got a sweetheart of a deal. We got a guy that's playing lights out. Look, we're going to keep you because you are long-term. We don't want you hurt. We want to make sure that we're going to keep showing you that we love you, but we're not going to just throw you out there and risk hurting you. And right now our team is playing well enough to survive and to play and playing pretty good. That's in a playoff position. But you look at Arizona, like you said, one win, they shut him down. IR, they said, we don't want any distractions. We don't want any confusion. This is going to be the guy we're going to use. Brissett is going to be our quarterback for the remaining of the year, and that's why you cleared all doubt. The 49ers are not in that same similar situation at all, but they're in a situation where they have to be clear with their message. And they have to be like, look, Brock Purdy is our future. Brock Purdy is going to be this quarterback. But right now we have a guy that's playing like a starter, that has the team, that's carrying the team, that's put in his time, that's playing very, very well, that's being very consistent. We would be a fool. It wouldn't behoove us to go back to a quarterback that's limited in some sense. But even when he's well, I just think right now you got to ride this out.
Yeah, and look, that's also led them to a 5-2 record with Mac Jones. Like they've not only ridden this out, they've succeeded. You know, I think the Cardinals are the more prototypical backup situation scenario where he comes in, he looks good, but you're not really winning a lot of games, right? Because your roster's a bit broken down. Obviously, he's a backup. You maybe get one or two feel-good wins, and then you kind of trust him. But Mac Jones has provided immediate dividends for the San Francisco 49ers to the point where I thought that where not that he won the starting job, but he earned the right to continue on as long as he's playing successful and the team is winning games. When they played the Rams on that Thursday night, when he led them into Los Angeles as 8.5-point underdogs without, at the time, George Kittle, who's back in this matchup, really without everybody except for Christian McCaffrey, because Bosa had gotten hurt at the time. You had Warner, but offensively, minimal weapons. He was doing it with Jake Tonjes. He was doing it with Luke Farrell. He was doing it with a lot of backups. He himself being a backup. That's, to me, where I think not only he won the hearts of a lot of 49ers fans, I think he won the confidence of that locker room.
He did, and I think that he didn't win just the confidence of the locker room. I think he's won the confidence of the coaching staff. If you watch the way that these guys and these coaches, and you watch Shanny has cut him loose. He have taken the training wheels off. He knows that this guy is a competent quarterback. He knows that he's an elite type of quarterback in this system. Everyone talks about this 49ers system. You look at it, Jimmy Garoppolo had success. You think about the quarterbacks that have been in Shanahan's system. Go back as far as Robert Griffin III had success. This is a quarterback-friendly offense if you do what you know you need to do and follow Shanahan's plan. But I think that what's been great is even when it becomes off schedule for Mac Jones, he's able still to deliver when, they shut down this read. They dropped it. You see him play to Mike, where the Mike runs to the middle of the field. They drop the Mike to the middle field. He understands they got a robber there. He's not throwing it into ghosts, not just throwing it to a spot. I think he's really is masterful at the way that he's orchestrated Shanahan's offense. So I think it's more than just being, okay, I read that one, boom, I'm going with the balls from going. He understands the nuances of this offense, and I think he has it down, and he's playing at a high level because it's not just that he knows where the ball should go, he's reading it out. And he's dictating and that's what's dictating where he's going to throw the ball.
Well, and to your point, I don't think he's ever played with more confidence in his career. And that includes a situation in New England where maybe you're under one of, if not the greatest head coaches of all time. But the difference between Shanahan and Belichick, obviously, is Belichick is a defensive mind. Yes, he had a capable offensive coordinator his rookie season. Then it got bounced around. But to have the stability that Kyle Shanahan offers to me, like, it's probably from going, you're going from a crash course in football to a master class. And for Mac Jones to just dive all the way in, you can tell he's having fun at the podiums.
He is.
And he's also got, to your point, not just the confidence of the coaching staff, but guys are going to bat for him at the podium. We heard George Kittle a couple weeks ago say that the resilience of this football team, the first person he mentioned was Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And so this is a football team, while a lot of it isn't necessarily explainable on paper. You look at paper, and this is a game that the Rams obviously should be favored in.
Sure, no question.
But the way that Mac Jones is playing this game, along with what he did the first time, you cannot count out the San Francisco 49ers, and that to me is what this season's been about, that each and every week, no matter who's been out, no matter who's been down, they've got a chance, and more often than not, he's helped them win the football game.
No question. Let's take another quarterback that's played in this system, 2 years ago. Plays in this system, goes over to the Minnesota Vikings, gets a huge contract with Seattle, and look how he's playing. Think about the process. The quarterback I'm talking about, none other than
Sam Darnold.
But look at his path. Look what the road that he had to take. But he said he got the most complete where? Here. And kudos to Brock Purdy, because he talked about what Brock Purdy did for him, how he went about in studying, and Shanahan and development. Here is a guy now that you watch Sam Darnold play. Sam Darnold is playing like an elite quarterback. You can say what you want. Sam Darnold is playing MVP type of football. Sam Darnold is playing masterful. Sam Darnold has a presence and an aura. He's a big guy, tall, 6'6". He has a presence, a good command. But it started here. Think about it. And now if you look at Mac Jones and where he's at, look at where he's been. Now look when he came here. The pressure is off. Look at how it was a situation. Look, he had no intention of being the starter. But he embraced his situation. He embraced where he was at. And now look at this guy. You push him, and he soars.
He's playing the best football of his career, point blank simple. I mean, I know that in some games he's put up better numbers. In some seasons he's had maybe a more efficient type of performance. But to me, with what he's been asked to do, he is playing the best football of his career. And one of the reasons I think he's been able to do that is, San Francisco they've had a couple blips on the radar, right?
Sure.
2020 derailed by injury.
Right.
Last year derailed by injury coming off the Super Bowl appearance. But I think that there was more of a commitment this year to playing without expectation. And I think that's what's kind of captured this team is being able to overachieve. It is, in a sense, a little bit of a skill because everyone has counted out. Thank you, Eve. And by the way, come on down if you want some of the best wings in the South Bay.
Absolutely. Let me show you guys.
Yeah,
this.
for those watching on YouTube, here's what we're working with.
Look at this. I want you guys to look at it. I mean, he just brought over some nice wings, little ranch dressings, little celery, carrots. I mean, come on down here. Friggin' the Laughing Monk is out of control. The fans are here. Great food, great wings, great environment. See a little too much yellow and
I was going to say.
Little much yellow and blue, though, right?
So we got a couple fantastic promotions people, Jesse and Danae, who helped set up amazing games outside. They have prizes for you to win. And there was one person, though, that came down earlier before we got on and said, where's the Ram stuff? And Danae looked right in her face and says, "It's in Los Angeles."
Nice.
It was a great response.
Nice.
But you're right. There's a lot of Rams jerseys in the house. This ain't Rams' house today. I know LA travels well, but this is Levi's Stadium. The Rams are a team that is formidable. But Niners Nation, which actually reminds me about last week.
Right.
The 49ers fans travel maybe as well or the best of any in the league because in New York, you saw a lot more red than you saw blue at MetLife Stadium.
Oh, you did, and they start to take that over. And hell, let's about 4 or 5 weeks ago, let's go back to L.A. I mean, the Niners traveled and took over. That was a sea of red in L.A. too. I mean, I even got some fresh coffee, fresh brewed coffee. You hear it, Laughing Monk. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are the best. I'm telling you, I'm fired up. I'm going to get a little caffeine going, have a little coffee, little
You're already jacked up, Lo.
Because, man, it's just like, I tell you, man, I just love this time of the year. I love what it means. And when you have a team like the Niners, this is, for me, is one of the most exciting years because what they've accomplished. I mean, they've come out of nowhere this year. Everyone talked about their window closing and how much time do they have and what's their window like and what's the opportunity. And when guys started dropping like hot flies and just dropping and injuries, you looked and you said, man, it's over. I mean, I'm one of those guys. I said, it was over when you lost your receiver and then you lost freaking Nick Bosa. Then you said, everyone said, God, they can't afford to lose Fred Warner because they lose that. He's the guy. And Buffoon, I mean, dude, this guy,
yeah.
Buffoon, he's getting 13, 12, 10 tackles. I mean, this guy's playing outstanding. So it's just like, man, it's just a breath of fresh air to see these guys play the way they did. You saw them last week, go to Giants, MetLife, place where the Giants have been playing decent. Giants is, yes, they have some good weapons on that team. You see the way their quarterback, man, they took down our Chargers. I mean, this Giant team plays pretty well. And for the Niners to go on the road and smack them around, I was pretty pleased with that.
Well, that's the kind of team that if you let them stay in a game, they can sneak up and bite you. They don't have many wins, but their 2 wins are against quality teams, the Chargers and the Eagles. They let them hang around, and the Giants, they bit them. The Niners stepped on their throat pretty much from the get-go. I know they went down 7-0, but from there they locked in. And I'm glad you brought up Tatum Bethune because I think he's a player sort of symbolic of their season, which is next man up. And even though everyone knows Tatum Bethune is not replacing Fred Warner.
Right.
Fred Warner is the best middle linebacker in football. Long term, I don't believe that Mac Jones is replacing Brock Purdy.
No.
You knew that Jake Tonjes isn't replacing George Kittle. You can go down the line of everybody that's stepped up for players that have been injured. But those guys that have filled in have been sensational. Tatum Bethune last week had 16 tackles against the Giants. He tackled 8 different players. He was all over the field. Fred Warner's never had 16 tackles in a single game. Right. It doesn't mean he's better than Fred Warner, but it means that he's been prepared to succeed by that coaching staff, and you've got to give a guy credit that was a late-round pick from a couple years ago, from 2024, and has had his opportunity to play. And while he's been not necessarily he's not been prepared to step in and be Fred Warner, he was prepared for the moment. And to me, there's been so many situations like that this year for players in this Niners team.
With that being said, and I'm going to go down a little rabbit hole here. When you watch the way that he's playing, do you look at your Sam and your Will and say, I have to put this guy on the field next year? You see what? No, when you watch him play, the way that he has a knack for the ball, Fred has a knack for the ball, so Fred can still be your defensive signal caller. You know what he brings to the table. Buffoon hits. He's athletic. So is this a situation, do you think, that's brewing, that you're saying, that coaching staff saying, we got to have Fred and these 2 guys have to be on the field at the same time? Well,
that's why you got to give him credit, because a lot, and it's not just Tatum Bethune, there's been players that have stepped up this season that I think do make the coaching staff reevaluate their position in the hierarchy, right? Looking ahead to next season, Fred Warner's going to come back, and we hope he's as good as he once was, but there's situations where, and you know this better than most, like, you got to make the coach, put the coach in a position where he can't take you off the field. And I think that's what a lot of these players are proving, right? Some of the rookies as well, who have stepped up, who have stepped in. A guy like Tatum Bethune, to me, he's got to play.
Yeah.
He has to be on the field, and I don't know if it's, 3 linebackers. I don't know if it's him stepping in and helping out Winters, who, by the way, has also been fantastic at the weak side spot. But for Tatum Bethune to step in and really have very few reps this season, I know he's not orchestrating the defense part of me like Fred Warner has, but you got to give that guy credit.
You do. You have to give him lots of credit. I just think when you watch them the way that they're playing, and another guy I think that's playing is showing that he has big play potential, and he's showing that it's earned the right to be on the field more. And I think that you would agree with me, in long term, it is going to help this San Francisco 49ers, and that's Robinson, the runner. You've seen him on the punt with kickoff returns. You see him running the ball. He's been more effective. The shiftiness, the moves that he made, and the runs that he had with the Giants. It was good to see a guy. The reason why you gave up some trade capital and the reason why you trade for him, he showcased that to me last Sunday.
Had his first touchdown run at nearly 50 yards on the ground. A good game for the overall running game, which has us kind of burying the lead. Coming up in just a little bit, we do have to discuss Christian McCaffrey because what he's doing, I owe the guy an apology. I'm not going to lie. I thought that this was a season in which we would see him regress a little bit. And not only has he not regressed low, he might be playing some of the best football of his career. And he's been defying Father Time. Also, too, I want to quickly get your thoughts before we get to the break here. Just on the trade deadline, came and went for the 49ers. Now, they did technically add a pass rusher, Keon White, who we saw in the Giants game. May see more of today because they've lost Mykel Williams for the season. Nick Bosa is obviously out for the remainder of the year as well. But were you surprised to not see action from the Niners on Tuesday?
I was, and especially I was surprised to see it. Not maybe another backup offensive line and maybe someone up front on the defensive line. Offensive line, it's tough because it's hard. I'm surprised that that the Chargers were able to get the Saints a starting tackle. It's kind of surprised me because it's first rounder. It's hard to get offensive linemen. Defensive linemen, it's not as hard. I thought that the Niners would be a little bit more aggressive, especially with getting that defensive front, because we know the biggest thing that concerns the Niners right now thus far is being able to rush the quarterback and get after the quarterback with pressure. So, yes, I was surprised that the trade line came and gone without getting a defensive lineman pass rusher.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Chargers situation because they've lost both of their starting tackles.
2 Pro Bowl tackles.
Yeah, two all-pro talents, 2 really good tackles. And while the guy they got is clearly not going to be as good as those guys, it was a position of need, and they went on and got him. Even if he's just a body, even if he's just a rotating player, he's going to help in that capacity. The Niners, meanwhile, I thought, yes, you can add a lineman, but clearly with Mykel Williams going down, also Yetur Gross-Matos re-injuring his lower half, you just need bodies there. So I was shocked to see them not necessarily swinging big and going out to get a big boy. It would have been great, obviously would have helped, but to not add a body, that was something that hit me a little bit like, I think you can interpret it 2 ways. Either you feel like this room is already good enough to compete as it is. Maybe you don't want to add, long-term investments, finances, all factors into that. But I also wonder if this coaching staff believes that this team is good enough.
Yeah, I think
if they're good enough to get this done the rest of the way.
I think that's a great point, E. I think about, look at you. I mean, you know what? Working with you is like, oh, man, it was like, okay, God, I wonder what this guy has. Then I listen to you on the radio. I watch you get the reps and believe network that you're taking off. You excel, coming and doing part-time and getting more reps. And look at you. You see yourself, and it's like, dude, Nahigian, man, and our boss, they said, here's this guy who has talent. Why go out on the streets and go try to find someone or go bring in someone that's good, but if I water my own grass and nature it, it can grow just as well. It can bloom just as well. And I think that's one of those analogies that I look at and like, man, working with you, how you work and how you prepare, all those things. It shows that hard work pays off. And that's no different than the Niners. You're absolutely right. This staff believes that they have enough talent. They have enough guys on the practice squad. They have enough bodies because when guys started going down, look how guys just started elevating and playing at a high level. So I think without a doubt, this team feels good enough with the players that they have on this staff and on this roster that they can compete and
Well,
that they've been competing.
I appreciate that, Lo. And I do got to say, one of the reasons I am able to get better at this job is because I get to work with you every single Sunday.
Oh, thank you, brother.
And coming up next, I do want to get into a couple of different things. Yes, we'll continue to talk about the trade deadline. We'll also go around the NFL coming up a little bit, a lot of games and a lot of impactful matchups that could dictate the NFC West, but the matchup to watch today is the Niners and the Rams. Perhaps the game of the week, considering 2 6-win teams. If the Niners win, they have the in-line to the division, a place we were not sure was going to be the case entering this season, and certainly not after all that they have had to overcome. Evan Giddings alongside Lorenzo Neal here at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale on the kickoff show. If you're sliding through before the game, stop by, grab some wings, grab a cup of Joe, maybe put a little something stiff in your drink as well. Have a good time before you get on over to Levi's Stadium. A free shuttle for all future home games as well. 957thegame.com. Go to the kickoff show graphic. Get on the Eventbrite link. It's free to and from the stadium. You can have a great time, play responsibly, enjoy all of your Sunday's experiences, of course, here down in the South Bay. So back at Laughing Monk coming up in just a little bit. We'll take a break and be back on the kickoff show after this.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit Tremfya.com.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS for Kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Black Friday is coming, and that's the smart time to shop for a top-rated TV from Samsung, LG, or Sony. But why wait? You can get those Black Friday TV deals right now at Video Only, and then enjoy Thanksgiving with your new TV. Still want to wait? Then how about better than Black Friday deals? The top-rated TVs at stupid low prices. Check out Video Only now before the rush. Or You'll be sorry.
Looking for lifelong financial guidance? Look no further than Pettinelli Financial Partners, your dedicated financial coaches for every stage of life's journey. Whether you're planning for retirement, starting a family, or buying a home, we're here for you every step of the way. Visit PettinelliFP.com. The financial consultants at Pettinelli Financial Partners are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratos Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratos and Pettinelli are separate entities from LPL Financial.
All guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line.
Dub Nation, this is Jimmy Butler, and you never know when I'll be on the River Islands guest line.
Dub Nation, this is Stephen Curry, and you never know when I'll be on the River Islands guest line. So make sure to keep it locked on 95.7 The Game.
River Islands in Lathrop is the best-selling master plan community in all of Northern California, with its lakes, parks, trails, and collection of new home neighborhoods. The good life can be your life. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands?
I joined the military for my kid and his mom. I miss my son a lot. One of the things with the military is tobacco, but I saw a lot of people try to deal with mental issues. Everyone's vaping constantly. After my first hit of a vape, I was hooked like that. Once I got back home from my deployment, I caught my son trying to hit my vape. That was it. I had to quit.
Isaiah started vaping to try to deal with stress and quit because of his son. Learn how he and other Californians are rising above big tobacco at undo.org.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. I slept in a lot of different rooms, but none of them really felt like mine.
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a permanent home.
Now I have my own room, a place that's mine, and a family who loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Now back to the kickoff show on 95.7 The Game.
Yes, sir. The kickoff show, Evan Giddings and Hall of Fame nominee Lorenzo Neal live here at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale, right off of Oakmead Parkway. Great people, great food, great drinks before the San Francisco 49ers and the LA Rams get set to go toe-to-toe at Levi's Stadium at 1:25. We'll be taking you up until kickoff here on 95.7 The Game. And, Lo, so during the break, you know how they go to some of the pre-games on Fox and CBS and all the rest. Well, so Tom Brady is going to be doing the game today on Fox. Number one crew, Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady. And Steven back in our 95.7 The Game studios has been kind enough, our Laughing Monk studios, I should say, kind enough to pull this piece of sound. I have not heard it. I don't know what Brady was talking about. I don't know what he was asked. But I was told that it has to do with the quarterback situation in San Francisco. So, Steven, could you please rip that one off for us?
Even when Brock Purdy comes back, if he's healthy, if they're still winning, do you think they keep Mac Jones?
Ooh. Gee. Wonder why you asked me this question.
Yeah, baby, because we're putting you on the spot.
Yeah, listen, you got to go with the hot hand. Yes, you stay with them. I got to believe that's why I'm still sitting here today, because they went with the hot hand about 25 years ago. What do you guys expect me to say?
Wow.
Oh, sorry, that was it? I got you. Well,
you said you never knew what he was going to say, so that was it. That was it. But that was enough. I mean, you heard him say, "Wow, you guys going to put me on the spot?" And he had to pause and he had to think because he knows everything that he says. And people are going to hold on to that. But he said, "Why am I sitting here?" He finished that with a very, very profound sentence. He said, "I wouldn't be sitting here today," because he was the hot hand. He took out a great player, an elite quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, and they didn't look back. I don't think it's that situation here, but he said you have to stay with the hot hand. He's earned the right. You said it earlier in the show. Mac Jones has earned the right to start and captain this team, I think, for the remainder of this year, or at least deep until he falters. You owe that to him.
Well, that's what I'm most curious about today is I think if he beats the Rams today for a second time this year, and the 49ers are 7-3, they not only have half game up on the Rams because they still have their bye coming, but they have the inroad to the division. You have the tiebreaker against a team that you and I both consider to be a contender, right?
Sure.
People expect the Rams to be right there for the NFC Championship and potentially representing the NFC. If he quarterbacks 2 wins against that team, I think you have to give him the rest of the season. It obviously depends on how it looks today. I think that the Niners are going to get a much different, much more invigorated, energetic Rams team. They understand how big this game was. Not that they overlooked the 49ers in the first game, but I do think on a short week, Thursday, things are a bit more volatile. Bodies are still banged up from the week before, and the Rams are coming off their bye a couple weeks ago. They looked very good last week when they throttled the Rams. But to me, if he wins this game low, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. And then, to me, beyond this season, that's where you can go evaluate. I understand where Brady is coming from because he's the outlier, right? He's the backup who won the job, who went on to, oh, by the way, then be the greatest quarterback of all time. But I understand where he's coming from. But within this season, I do think this year he might be onto something.
Without a doubt he's onto something. Hey, let's look. I mean, let's hold the press, stop the press. Several years ago when Brock Purdy took over this offense, he was efficient. He took care of the ball. He made things happen. He followed Shanahan's role, and he studied, and he played his butt off. And people were saying, I was hearing people, oh, this is Joe Montana-esque. Stop. I think that everyone put the cart before the horse. And is Brock Purdy a good quarterback? Absolutely he's a good quarterback. Has he earned the right to start? Absolutely he's earned the right to start in this league. Do I think he could be a starter and be a starter? Yes. But everyone's talking about this guy can be Joe Montana or Drew Brees. Look at Drew. I mean, Drew Brees, look at what he overcame and look in there because he's like, man, you look around this league, Colin Murray, a lot of these little guys that people think is going to be the answer, and they talk about all these guys go. No, it doesn't happen that way. Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. He's a serviceable quarterback. This guy, he's always going to be limited because of his height and because of his stature, no question. Could he become great? I think he can be good. I think he can have a great career. I think they can win Super Bowls. Phil Simms, Phil Simms be a quarterback. But this dude is, I don't think he's going to be an NFL great. But that's no. But here's what I'm saying. I don't want people to say, "Oh, I'm hating on Brock Purdy." No, Brock Purdy's efficient. He understands his offense. He gets rid of the ball quick. He can make things happen. He can move around the pocket. You can do more things with him. You can bootleg. You can make a lot of things happen. So he is a good quarterback. I just don't think that this guy. I just don't think that Brock Purdy is an elite and some great quarterback. I love Brock Purdy. I love his grit. I love his personality. I love that his character. I love that he loves God. I think when you think about what this guy has done, he's an overachiever. He's humble. He's got humility. He understands this is a blessing to be in this league. He is a great person, and this team loves him. But this team also wants to win. This team also knows that Brock Purdy injured is not as good as Mac Jones. This team knows that Brock Purdy, if he can't move, and sometimes he throws the ball in the middle of the field, there is going to be picks. At times he takes some chances with the ball. You got to cut those things down. So I think Brock Purdy's fine. I think he is going to be the starter for at least the next 2 to 3 years. I really believe that. Yeah. Because you have that investment. Here's the deal. The 49ers owe that to him. So I don't want anyone to dismiss us and say, oh, we're Brock Purdy on the bench. He should never be the starter. Give it to Mac Jones. I am not saying that. You're not saying that. We're just saying right now, give this guy. He's ride the wave. He's been hot. Let him lead this team because he's earned the right to lead this team. I think that he should be the starter for this year, and I think that you should have Purdy ready in the wings if something were to happen. If he has to go and play, you know that he's capable of winning you ball games. And after this year, you make that evaluation, and Brock Purdy's going to be fine. He's going to be the starter in this league and for the 49ers next year. No question.
Two things can be true. Mac Jones can be the best quarterback for this season. Brock Purdy can be the best quarterback for the future of your franchise. And I know it's a really unique situation, but I think because of the uniqueness of the injury, that's the position the 49ers are in. They cannot throw Brock Purdy back into the fire, number one, because he might be compromised. But number two, this is an injury that if you re-aggravate it again, it could cost you your career. And he's the long-term investment. And so I just think it's not like they're trying to serve two masters. I actually think it's very simple for the 49ers.
Me too.
I think it's a very simple equation of Mac Jones is the guy we brought in for this specific situation. I know everyone thinks about the backup being a lost season, and the moment he starts, you're going to lose games. But you look around the league, and there are backup quarterbacks that are going out and winning football games. Jacoby Brissett in Arizona. Davis Mills right now is starting for Houston. You have, well, he's actually losing a lot right now, but the Saints have gone to their young quarterback. The Giants have gone to their rookie quarterback, who was a backup at the beginning of this year. Like, there are situations where backups can step in and provide an impact. Sam Darnold was a backup. Baker Mayfield took some time. He was a backup in Los Angeles. So there are reclamation projects at all levels. And I think while Mac Jones has done a fantastic job this season, he also I think that's one of the reasons why he's playing his ass off, because he knows that this is still Brock Purdy's team. Yep. And this is a showcase opportunity for him to either make money potentially as a higher paid backup somewhere else, or I think what he's proving is he deserves a starting job somewhere in the NFL.
Without a doubt. And here's the deal. He's a guy that can go get you $20 million. He's that guy you can go get pay a guy, a quarterback, a starting quarterback, and you don't it's a flyer. You go pay Mac Jones. I got the Raiders on the phone. Boom, pay him $20-25 million a year. Okay, I got Cleveland Browns on the phone. You can pay him $20-25 million. There are some teams right now, especially if Cleveland's not going to ever play Sanders, and you see what Cleveland, the quarterback, that guy is not going to start in this league. I can guarantee you this. I've seen enough football, watching enough football, that he will not be an elite player in this league. He's 5'10", 5'11". He is not going to be Drew Brees. I know you look at Cleveland, whatever the deal is with Stefanski, playing. He is not the answer. So Cleveland's in play. You look at Miami. Miami's in play. There are some teams around. I'm going to tell you what, another team's in the Arizona Cardinals. I think that you look at what he's done. You look at Brissett. I mean, Mac Jones is a comparable quarterback. This guy has shown that he can win you ball games, win more than there's 5 or 6 teams that are starting quarterbacks that this guy's playing better than. You look at what he could do for the Jets. And even though he's not as athletic as a Jets quarterback, he throws the ball better. He understands football better. He's got more experience. He's got more knowledge. So I think that there are some places that Mac Jones is playing for. Mac Jones, I think he signed a 2-year deal.
Yep.
Mac Jones, you can demand for Mac Jones after this year, Mac Jones will yield you a 1st or 2nd round pick. Guarantee you what he has put up and what he's doing, the Niners know they got a 1st or 2nd round pick and possibly a 3rd. You can get maybe a 3rd and a 5th, a 3rd and a 4th. You may get 2 picks, a 3rd and a 4th for him. That's how good Mac Jones has played. That's what he is. That's what he's put on tape. Mac Jones has helped this team, and he's helped himself, but he's also helped the draft capital for the San Francisco 49ers. He is winning for the Niners.
He's the perfect stopgap quarterback who could potentially evolve into something more, which is exactly what happened with Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Sam Darnold was brought into Minnesota to compete originally with the rookie quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, for that starting job. McCarthy is out for the season. Okay, we're going to go to Sam Darnold. Darnold balls out, gets himself a contract with Seattle where they trade for him to bring him in. They say bye to Geno, they say bye to Pete Carroll, did a couple years ago, and they bring in Sam Darnold to be their quarterback of the future. That is a path available to Mac Jones, and I think that a lot of teams, like you mentioned, they're looking for head coaches, they're looking for quarterbacks, they're looking for stability. And I think that's what Mac Jones has represented this season to the San Francisco 49ers. He's represented stability in a season that has been completely unstable. So for him to do what he's done this season, yes, he's in a perfect situation with Shanahan calling plays for him. Yes, he's in a quarterback whisperer type of locker room. But I think it also, what Darnold has proved to me is that still remains with you when you go somewhere else. Baker Mayfield, what he learned in his short time in Los Angeles, has remained with him now in Tampa Bay. And there's clearly skill sets already attached to these quarterbacks, but now they can, with a little bit of time, a little bit of grooming and development, go and spread their wings somewhere else. So I'm with you. I think if the Niners have an opportunity, I know a lot of people might be saying, why would you get off Mac? Why would you trade him? If the Niners could get a top 3 round pick for Mac Jones this offseason,
tackle,
I don't think they hesitate.
You don't hesitate. And I'm going to tell you, sure as Monday come after Sunday, he will yield a third at the worst. If he gets this team to a playoffs, which it looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're moving in that direction.
They win 4 more games, 4 out of 8 left.
If they win this game today, you can book it. They are going to be a playoff team.
Exactly. And so you've done more than what Miami's. You've done more than what Chicago. You've done more than what Cleveland. You've done more than what Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the deal. In some regards, you can look at what he's doing and the way the teams that he's beaten and the way that he's played. Isn't it safe to say that if there's 5 to 10 teams that this quarterback has played better than, that you can say, oh my God, why wouldn't he yield a first round? Why wouldn't he yield a first or second or a third round pick if he wins and get this team to a playoffs? And here's the thing. Do you think Jacksonville Jaguars have better receivers? Do you think when you look around some of these teams that are not winning, Dallas Cowboys, you think about Dallas, who they have, CeeDee Lamb, look at their receiver. Think about some of these teams that we're talking about with big-time quarterbacks and good teams and good talent around them, and they're not doing what Max Jones would. Look what he's doing. That's where you got to say, okay, let me look at the talent that he has on his team. And McCaffrey's exception to the rule. But the receiving core, what he's throwing to, what he's doing, can't you see and don't you believe that he's outplayed so many of these quarterbacks, the high-paid quarterbacks?
He's outplayed the majority of them. It's funny enough because he did beat the Rams, and the Niners went in on that Thursday night early this season and defeated the Rams. The one guy that I wouldn't say that he's beaten, that he outplayed, was Matthew Stafford, who was really good in that football game. The difference might have been that Sean McVay took the ball out of his hands on that 4th down and 1 rush in overtime instead of passing the ball when they'd been highly proficient. And that's really the one guy that, today, if I'm looking at this game and zeroing in at 125 between the Rams and the 49ers, that scares me. It is the quarterback in the opposing team. It's funny, Lo, because you look around the league and there's a lot of players that, Father Time's undefeated. But in this matchup today, Christian McCaffrey and Matthew Stafford are both right now winning the battle against Father Time. I think Mac Jones is winning the battle against, backup quarterbacks, sort of the stigma against the backup quarterbacks. But Christian McCaffrey and Matthew Stafford are both defying Father Time because McCaffrey's on pace for a 1,000-yard season, rushing and receiving. Matthew Stafford might be having his most efficient season as a quarterback, and he's 37 years old.
Yeah, you brought up some good points. I'll tell you right now, I don't know why, and I don't know how the league's not talking about Christian McCaffrey for MVP of the league. I'm telling you, what he's done and what he is doing for the Niners with not having Kittle for 5 weeks, all the different things that he's able to do. Why aren't people talking about this guy for MVP of not offense, but I'm talking about just MVP, period. What the numbers that he's put, like you said, this guy might have 1,000 and 1,000. It's freaking amazing.
On a winning football team.
Yes.
I mean, he's been the catalyst. The Sunday night game a few weeks ago against Atlanta, he accounted for nearly 80% of their scrimmage yards. Last week against New York, he ran the ball 28 times, also had several catches. Is a guy that has been racking up yards and yards. And I realize that the Giants aren't a great defense, but to me, this offense, as much as Mac Jones has been the conductor of it, Christian McCaffrey has been the engine. Like, Mac Jones has been the key in the ignition, but the horsepower has been from number 23. And for him to be doing what he's doing at this age, it's just simply incredible. And I mentioned it before, but I do have to apologize because after a few weeks, I was wondering if McCaffrey was still the same old Christian. I was wondering if, you're starting to see the decline a little bit. But in a year coming off of a lot of injury, in which he missed all but 3 games last season, you got to tip your cap to this guy because I'm with you. I'm not sure if you look around the league, Sam Darnold, you mentioned, is playing really well. Obviously, the Mahomeses of the world are going to be in the MVP conversation. Josh Allen. But Christian McCaffrey is right there with those guys because while Mac Jones has been, in many ways, the savior of this team, Christian McCaffrey's been its best player.
He has. And it's the way he's doing it. Yeah, you can look at Josh Allen, MVP. You look at Mahomes, yeah, MVP. But those are quarterbacks. They touch the ball every single time. But McCaffrey, he is the quarterback. He's being the quarterback from a running back position because he's touching the ball down there every time. He's doing so many amazing things with the ball in his hand. What he has accounted for, no question to me, this guy, if he continues the course that he's on, when the dust settles, Christian McCaffrey will be up for MVP. There won't be 2 other people in front of him. That's what he's doing right now. I know you might think that I'm pulling, blowing smoke. What the numbers that he's putting up and the way that he's going about doing it, I guarantee you, this guy's going to be in that hunt. At the end of the year, he's going to be in the hunt.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, the quarterbacks touch the ball every play. Doesn't it feel like Christian McCaffrey touches the ball every play? I mean, I don't realize he doesn't, but, I mean, whether it's out of the backfield, on the ground, this guy is on pace for more touches than the season in which he came in third in MVP in 2023, where he was the engine that helped the Niners get to a Super Bowl appearance. He's touching the ball more, and he's 2 years older coming off the injuries that he had last season.
Yeah, he really is. And what he's doing when he see, it's a difference. You can touch the ball, but what kind of efficiency? You can touch the ball, but what does that mean if you're not having success? You can touch the ball, 30, 40 times a game, but what are you doing with it? This guy is moving the chains on third down. He's your bell cow pretty much on first and second down. On 3rd and 3 to 4, he's getting doubled. He lines up out wide. He motions out. He's got 2 guys bracketing. He goes out. He runs his route. If a guy outflanks him, he beats him inside. If they both widen and they think, oh, my God, we're both got him, we got him bracket coverage, they're like, okay, he's dead. The quarterback's not going to look there. He looks off. McCaffrey snaps his head around, and he throws it in between 2 guys. If you watch the way that this guy is orchestrating the offense from his route running and his precision, that's another part that people aren't talking about.
Well, and the greats, right? Whenever you think that, why don't you just double McCaffrey? Why don't you just put attention on number 23? They still find a way to beat you. And that's where the greats separate themselves. And the San Francisco 49ers absolutely have a great in McCaffrey. They also have a quarterback who's been playing great. And they're going to need it today because as we move forward here, we got a little over an hour left in the show between now and when the San Francisco 49ers kick off against the Los Angeles Rams. We do have to dig into just how this game is going to go the Niners' way. Also got to go around the league as well. A lot of other important 1 o'clock matchups. Monday night, Sunday night football coming up as well. All ahead here on the Kickoff Show, live from Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale. All home games. Next one coming up in a few weeks. We do have the Monday night game. Won't be down here for that one, but then coming up a little bit later in the month of November, the last week of November, we'll be back here and looking forward to seeing you as well. If you want to get in on the action, go to 957thegame.com, click on the Kickoff Show graphic, hit the Eventbrite link, secure your place on a free shuttle to and from the game so you can come down, have some breakfast. They got great brunch options, grab a pop as well, and then, of course, hang around, watch the 10 o'clock games. A lot of interesting matchups. We can go around the league as well and talk about those, but it's a fantastic environment and atmosphere to have some fun before you watch the 49ers and obviously the Los Angeles Rams today. So, again, all at 957thegame.com. First come, first serve. Every home game is filled up so far, so grab your spot on that bus to and from the game. This is the Kickoff Show with Evan Giddings, Hall of Fame nominee Lorenzo Neal. We'll be back after this live from Sunnyvale on 95.7 The Game.
This is Larry Flick, owner of The Floor Store. The holidays are coming, but so is our pre-holiday sale. And that means everything in the store is 30% off. Not just some things, 30% off everything. Go to floorstores.com for directions. The Floor Store, your Bay Area flooring authority.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in the Bay Area. And our more than 110 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Hey, this is Joe Shasky from 95.7 The Game. Want to hear something super? Well, Merit America wants to get you on the path to a super new high-paying career with free coaching and training. And the first step is a super job working at the super big game. Go to meritamerica.org/super and see how you can sign up for super career training in HR, logistics, data analysis, and much more for free. So go to meritamerica.org/super. This is a super opportunity, and it's brought to you by Merit America.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Get ready for Jim Gaffigan and his Everything is Wonderful tour on June 13th at the Masonic in San Francisco. Buy your tickets at LiveNation.com. And for a chance to win tickets, courtesy of Live Nation, visit 957thegame.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th,
New Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And if you love animals, you're part of our world. Humane World for Animals. The end of animal cruelty.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to the kickoff show on 95.7 The Game.
Evan Giddings, Hall of Fame nominee Lorenzo Neal, live here at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale, right off Oakmead, a fantastic place. In fact, so we'll put out tweets to kind of promote the show before the game, and I saw this on our socials at 957 The Game.
Yeah.
Someone responded to us. I want to say it was
What'd they say?
At SF Frisco fan.
Yeah.
Didn't know there was a bar there.
Really?
Drives by there all the time. Didn't know that there was a spot. Laughing Monk Brewing. Yes, there indeed is. I know it's kind of tucked away in the trees. It's a nice little spot right off the freeway. It's a comfy, cozy place, but it is big.
It's huge.
It is massive down here.
Huge bar. I mean, great place. The food, and the thing about it, you like bars. They got good food. I've had the burger. I've had the wings. The wings are my go-to. The lemon pepper. I mean, they got great burgers, the fish and chips. You name it, they got it. The crowd, the parking's plenty of place to park. Go to shuttle, take you to and from the game. Bus is going to be leaving, heading down there. I mean, dude, come here. Pre-game here, have some pre-pops. Don't got to worry about cleaning up the mess. Everything is set up for you. It's at the tip of your fingers. Everything. And the service is amazing, but the people here, that's what I love about Laughing Monk. I just wave my hand in coffee. I put my hand up again, it's wings. I mean, if you name it, they got it. You can have it your way at Laughing Monk, baby. Have it your way.
No doubt. And we want to sincerely thank them for hosting us every single home game throughout this season. So if you missed your opportunity today, if you're driving by the stadium, you're saying, I'm on the fence, I can't get there, I got to get to the game, come by next home game. Every single one here at Laughing Monk Brewing. All right, so this was from earlier this week. Kyle Shanahan obviously speaks after the game on Monday's conference call, Wednesday midweek, and then Friday. Mac Jones is starting the football game today. The question is going to be whether or not Brock Purdy is suited up for this game. He was the emergency backup last week in New York, but could technically be the backup today for Mac Jones. There's more on that in just a little bit. But Kyle Shanahan was asked about the deadline that came and went on Tuesday, on November 4th. The Niners opted not to make a move. There was a rumor that they were in the mix for Jalen Phillips, who, of course, went to the Philadelphia Eagles from the New York Jets, a pass rusher. Could have helped him, good player. The Jets wanted a second-round pick. The Niners declined. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking about why they didn't make a big move, why they didn't take a swing at the deadline.
Yeah, I don't think it has to do with how we view this year's team. I think we worked just as hard this year to make a trade that made sense for our team this year and next year, just as hard as we do every year. I mean, there's a lot of teams with records like 6-3 or better that didn't make any big trade. Just because you make a big trade doesn't mean it's always a smart move. There's a lot of risk that goes into it, not just for this year, but throughout your whole future. I was excited we were able to make it one that we felt real good about last week and getting Keon. I know we looked into a ton of them, but the asking price was too much on all the ones.
So we talked about this earlier. Both you and I were a bit surprised they didn't make a move at the deadline. When you hear, as a player, when you hear, Lo, that a coach or a front office is looking a year ahead, does that bother you at all? Do you understand it? Obviously, you're invested on this season. You want to maximize this year, but you don't want to be irresponsible. Like, how does the locker room take that sort of message?
Yeah, I think that they take the message that, hey, look, we're good enough. They can look at their schedule and say, we're a bunch of misfits and no one gave us a chance. We don't have a lot of big names on defense. But, guys, you're building. You're making your name for yourself. Several weeks ago, Kyle Shanahan said, what does he do? He usually watches film the night before and put all the highlights of what there used to be. And he goes, I had to stop doing that. And I wondered why he said he had to stop doing it. And it was very simple. He said he stopped doing it because the highlights from last year and yesterday year is none of the guys that are on the roster right now, or none of those guys are injured. So he said he had to go get guys showing the plays that they're making. That says a lot, that a coach understands I can't go get highlights and show what we used to do because this is a bunch of other guys that are playing. You think about from the defensive line, the secondary, the line, it's a lot of different players. So Shanahan acknowledged that. And I think it's a balance. It's a balancing act, too. You know it and I know it, and we all know this. You build in the draft. That's how you build your football team. You build in the draft. You get better through the draft. You don't get better and stay better long-term through big-time trades because you're getting a rental. When you draft in the draft and you draft the right guys, you bring in guys that are going to be there, and they're your staple for the next 4 years. Special teams turn into starters. I started in my career, punt returning. I was one of the forcers. I was out there on punt return team. I'd block a guy and hold him. I was on punt team. I was a wing guy on punt team. I was on kickoff. I was on kickoff return. Kept playing year one, got some play time. Year two, going to a starter. And then I start coming off some of the special teams. I had my core special teams that I would play, punt team, core special teams, kickoff return, because of my blocking ability. So when you look at it, but I moved off things and I start going to just as starters. So when you build in the draft, you get you get players that's going to be the core of your team, core special teams, and guys that you believe one day can develop into starters. So when you're drafting these guys and getting these guys, that's what this coaching staff is thinking. They're like, okay, if we go get a guy and it's only for a year, how is this going to get us to the hump, and how are we going to build for the future? So it's a balancing act.
Yeah, I think it signals to me that they're looking at this from the long term because that previous Super Bowl window doesn't apply to this next era of 49ers football. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't think they can be ahead of the curve, which I think they are now. They're ahead of schedule. They're in competition for a playoff berth. But what they're trying to do is get themselves back to the point where they are competing year in and year out for Super Bowls. And I think they understand that they had to take a step back to take 2 steps forward.
Absolutely.
And if you're a player who's been a part of this organization like George Kittle has, like Fred Warner has, like Nick Bosa has, Trent Williams, even Christian McCaffrey, who wasn't here long-term but understands the business, I think they get it. So the whole argument that because the Niners didn't make a move at the deadline that they're not all in on the season, that's fair, but it doesn't mean they still think they can't do good and potentially amazing things this season. The Rams made a couple moves around the edges. The Eagles got a pass rusher like we talked about, Jalen Phillips. You see teams in the AFC. The Baltimore Ravens made some moves. The Chargers made some moves. Those are teams that, yes, believe they're contenders, but they're also teams across the league who have positions of need who didn't make moves. The Buffalo Bills, they lost their starting D tackle Ed Oliver for a couple weeks. They didn't go out and get a big-name edge rusher. They believe that they have what's necessary in-house to still put them in a position to compete for a championship. So I think that Kyle Shanahan and this front office are wise to look at this from the long game because, too, the other part is, and you brought it up, I think they told us this summer when they said goodbye to Debo, Hufanga, Charvarius Ward, Javon Hargrave, a lot of expensive older players that were a part of the iteration that got you to nearly a Super Bowl. When they said goodbye to those guys, they told you they were going to make an investment in a youth movement, in draft picks. And with that comes inconsistency, inexperience, but also a chance to develop and get better. That's why we're talking about a Tatum Bethune who's stepping in for Fred Warner. We're talking about a D. Winters who's now a first-time starter this year. Those kinds of players, while they're not the all-pros and the big-name talents and the high-paid guys, those are the dudes that are going to be the next generation of 49ers to eventually, hopefully, get you back to where you want to be.
Without a doubt. Evan, you hit the nail right on the head. This is a team, when you think about what they're doing, that's why it's hard to say that, they couldn't afford to give up that second round. And now, think about it. You're in you have a chance maybe next year to have 2 seconds or maybe even 2 firsts because of the way your quarterback is playing.
Yeah.
Think about what you've done, and you know what you're going to invest in. You're going to invest in a bona fide pass rusher, and you're going to invest in an offensive tackle. This Niner team have to get better in the trenches. And this is just it's inevitable. It's time. Trent Williams, he's going to play next year and maybe the year after that, for sure next year. But you don't know. Sometimes you get older and you fall off a cliff. Great fighters, Bernard Hopkins, great fighters, Ray Leonard, a lot of great fighters, a lot of great players. It's when you're great and that when you just fall completely off the cliff, because of the age, Father Time. It's undefeated. So, and that's why I think that's, you ask, hey, why didn't they do something in the second round? Give up a second-round pick, draft capital. You can't, because next year you're going to have to get in the trenches, and you're in third and fourth and fifth, sixth round. You're not going to find offensive tackles that's going to be a stable, a cornerstone. They are going to have to do that. They know they're going to have to do that, and that's why you couldn't afford to give up a second-round pick.
And I know everyone wants everything now, but the word you used is build. When you're trying to build a home, like I was last night at a Friendsgiving, shout out to my buddy Kyle McSwain and his beautiful wife who hosted a lot of people.
Sure.
I remember when his home was barren. When floorboards are up, there's weeds in the back. He's trying to remake the stairs, and he's still got work to do, but a couple of years later, he's got himself a beautiful home in which he can host many people. He can have a great time. He can live comfortably with him and his pets and his wife, and that's building, but that took a lot of time. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of effort. That's what the 49ers are trying to do. They're trying to build themselves a new home to potentially host and hoist a Super Bowl. And so I understand where everyone wants it now and they want them to be better now. But when you say rebuild the offensive line, when you say rebuild the defensive line, get better in the trenches, that's something that's going to take 2 or 3 years. It didn't just happen overnight for the San Francisco 49ers back in 2017-18 when they got the DeForest Buckners, the Eric Armsteads, the guys that helped them create a stout top 3 defensive unit. That took time. And so I think that a lot of fans have to look at this like it's year 1 for San Francisco. And while they didn't identify any of the immediate needs at the deadline, they also understand that draft capital can be potentially far more value to them in the future.
Oh, without a doubt, it can be far more valuable. And not just valuable, you're building something that you understand that in year 1, guys are going to get mature. They're going to build, get more muscle mass. Pros from college is a huge jump, especially offensive linemen. Athletically, defense, you can use a pass rusher, and you can win with speed and win with athletic ability. But when you're playing offensive tackle, when you're playing with the trenches, you got to have a little sand in your bottom half. You got to be able to sit down and be able to take on those bull rush and be able to do a lot of those things. So I think it's very, very imperative that they continue to build like that, to have a guy that they can have in the wings for a year and let Trent train him for a year and say, okay, now Trent, do you want to back? Because you got to realize, Trent's the type of guy that can play another 5 years. He can come in and play great for a series or a game. It's just a long term. He's always going to have that punch. He's always going to be strong, always going to have that. So he's a guy that you can say, okay, look, we're letting Trent, we know this guy's going to play another 3 years, but how are we going to play him? We got to make sure we're building, like you're talking about, a cornerstone, a building break, a foundation. And that's why you got to keep these draft capital, because I know people say, like you said, we want it right now. When do we want it? Right now. We want to win now. Let's just trade everything away. And if you do that, now when it comes to the draft and the cupboard's bare and you have no building, no other guys that you can build that foundation, you set your team up for long-time failure.
Yeah, and I think, look, too, the Niners are trying to move in a positive direction. You want to win now. You want to win later. The other thing that Kyle Shanahan touched on earlier this week was the quarterback situation. And it rolls along with kind of what we're talking about not disrupting momentum, not disrupting the building blocks that the Niners are putting down to create a foundation. Steve, back in our Laughing Monk studios, if we can, Kyle Shanahan was asked about Mac Jones and the offense. If they continue to play well, would he worry about messing with the offensive chemistry by going back to Brock?
No, I don't really get concerned too much with offensive chemistry. Mac's shown he can play at a high level. Everyone knows that Brock can play at a high level. When Brock is healthy and he's himself, we know he'll play at a high level. So as long as you have a quarterback playing at a high level, don't worry too much about the chemistry.
I get that sentiment. I understand that chemistry is not something that you want to put a ton of emphasis on because there's so much more that goes into it, scheme, talent, all the rest. But you can't tell me that this Niners team doesn't have an all-time high chemistry for this season. And it's because of the guy who's under center. So I get that Brock Purdy, again, we've talked about it, he may be the better future option. I think at his best, he's better than Mac Jones. But right now, this chemistry, in many ways, Lowe, has been their secret weapon. Because you can't look across at the other team and say you're better than them on paper. The Rams are going to walk in with all pros, Pro Bowlers, and a ton of cash at their key positions. What the Niners have to their advantage today is their chemistry.
No question. And if you listen to what he said, he goes, we don't worry about it too much. He didn't say we don't worry about it. Yeah. He said we don't worry about too much. He understands chemistry, and he's got to say the right thing. And here's the deal. Shanahan is not going to he's not going to never tilt his hand. You know how he communicates. He's not going to say, oh, this is what we're going to do. Shanahan always gives you this long injury report, talks about this person, that person, this guy might be ready to go. So he is not going to just say, okay, this is what we're doing. He is not going to tip his hand. He understands the importance of keeping things to yourself. He understands the importance of having a team that's rolling with the particular quarterback, and he's not going to change that. When Brock's ready, yes, he will say, yep, Brock's ready. He'll say, Brock's ready, but he's not going to just say throw him in there. He's going to be like, look, and he said that. He said Mac Jones shown that he can play at a high level. He's shown that he showed that Mac Jones is a good quarterback. So he is not going to disrupt the chemistry because a guy's healthy. You don't do that. You don't do that. You see, you saw freaking in Arizona. They're not doing that. Now, will you go back to them eventually? Absolutely. It just maybe not be this year. That's it.
Yeah, and I think, look, too, as far as building is concerned, it's ironic that they're playing the Rams today because I remember it was a couple of years ago where the L.A. Rams coming off of a Super Bowl championship, obviously, with Stafford, some of the pieces that remain on this team, obviously the head coach Sean McVay, they took a step back. They took a step back because they needed to replenish some of their picks. They wanted to invest in the draft. They get a guy like Jared Verse last year who helps push that defensive line into an upper echelon. Bryce Young. A lot of different players who, through the draft, have helped them become one of the better, I think, viewed around the league as also younger defensive units. Like, in many ways, I think what the Niners are trying to accomplish mirrors what the Rams did a couple of years ago, where they were a 10-win team, a little ahead of schedule. Their offense sort of carried in the playoffs. They lost in the first round. But then the next season, last season, you really see how the investments in the youth pay dividends, along with a veteran quarterback, a stable offense, and a team that had a chance was 8 yards away from beating the eventual Super Bowl champs in the Philadelphia Eagles. So today, I think the Niners are getting a view of, all right, how does their future measure up with the present of the Rams and a team that they're in many ways, I think, trying to copy a little bit because they've laid out the blueprint. If the Niners can bide their time, be patient, allow their young guys to get better and develop, they might be where the Rams are right now, which is a team that you and I believe could host the Lombardi Trophy this year.
Yeah, and the Rams can do it on so many levels. I mean, offensively, they can score. They got great receivers, a Hall of Fame receiver, Fresno State, Devontae Adams, he will be. You think about Puka Nacua. You think about what they're able to do offensively in the trenches. And not just that, you look at their defensive side of the ball. They can get after you. They can play. They're stout against the run. They can pressure the quarterback. So you have a total team. They have a lot of draft capital, and they have a lot of money invested in that defense and in that offense. But there's one thing that they know that has to be scary, and that's why they're pushing their chips. They want Stafford to win another Super Bowl. They really believe that they can win another Super Bowl, but they understand Stafford's shelf life is getting limited. He has maybe 1 to 2 years left. You know he's not going to play in any preseasons from here on out of his career. You know that he's one hit from being out for 4 to 5 weeks. You invested a lot in the quarterback position. So it is a situation where the Rams understand they have to win now. Don't know what we think we have the quarterback of the future in Brock Purdy, and if he continues to develop, because he's still young. This guy's only in his fourth year, fifth year.
Yeah, I mean he's 25, 26.
Yeah, so he's going to continue to increase. It's not like we've seen his ceiling. So it's a situation where you're saying, okay, the Niners can start to build, and not only start to build, but they're in a situation where they have control of their quarterback for the next 5 years. He's a young quarterback with upside and lots of potential. So you're right. The Niners are in a good position to have success.
And as for the matchup today, it is going to be an uphill battle. And to me, look, we're going to hit a break here in a little bit, and then we'll come back, go through all the rest of the games as well as our keys for the Niners and the Rams. But this one on paper, again, it's been a lot like the previous matchups where you think Niners don't have a chance, Rams are coming in invigorated, a lot of energy. They're completely healthy, by the way. Puka Nacua is going to be available for this game after exiting last week's game with a chest injury. They got everyone healthy. The Niners are going to be missing, obviously, their quarterback. Ricky Pearsall remains out for this game. Alfred Collins, who was the big-time player who punched the ball out at the goal line during their last meeting, unavailable for this game. There's a lot of guys that remain out for the 49ers. But just on a surface level, when you're thinking about 125 in this kickoff, where do you feel like the Niners, is it because they're at home? Is it because they've done this before? Where do you feel like just surface level they have an advantage today?
I think it is, and it starts with 23 and 10, him and Mac Jones. Their ability to get this offense going, you got to start fast. This is a team, Rams, you're not going to keep them out of the end zone. You're not going to hold them like you did last time. You got to find a way to score, and it starts with 23. This offense, you talked about it before we started the show. It says it starts and ends with 23. So it's going to be interesting to see what Kyle Shanahan's come up with and the other guys. How are these other receivers? How is this offense going to play keep away? Today's about ball control. You're talking about what's the advantage? To me, you got to keep balance. You have to be able to run the ball today. And if you can't run, it's like that quick little flare pass that they throw. It's like a handoff. It's like a sweep. You have to keep the Rams off schedule. You have to win them first and second down, be in third and manageable. You can't be in 3rd and 5 the greater. The Rams are just too good up front. They have too much pressure. They'll hit your quarterback. They'll beat him up. You saw the hits that he took last time. Their offensive line, the Niners' offensive line, they just can't hold up if you ask them to a 7-step drop with consistency and protect Mac Jones. He can't do it. He won't do it. They won't do it. They want to do it, but you just don't have that right now. So your game plan today is like, how do we keep the ball away from them? Run the ball. Make sure you get the ball out of Mac Jones' hands early. Win on first and second down. The intermediate to short-range passes have to be a premium. And you still got to take your shots. On first down, after you get a first down, look for the Niners then to do play action, go downfield. You got to keep them off schedule and off balance in order to make these big plays, because you're going to have some big plays to keep up with this Rams offense. So today, it's about keeping the ball away from the Rams.
Well, I think that's why I was encouraged by last week's performance of the offense kind of getting on track. Like, that was a get-right game for them. I don't think the Rams' defense is as good as Houston's, who really sort of flummoxed the 49ers. But I think also, too, to your point, you gotta put your defense in a position to succeed. A big reason why they lost that game against the Texans because the offense was going off the field.
Right.
The defense was on the field for 41 minutes in that game.
Too long.
That's just simply too long. You're absolutely right. And so here today, it is as much about the offense taking pressure off of a young, banged-up, non-experienced, but hopefully developmental defense. And the other thing, too, before we get out here, I feel like this game is one that's going to measure just how much the Niners are who they've been all year, which is a possession team, quick striking, relying on McCaffrey, and really the offense taking the reins. And I want to talk to you about this coming up next. If we feel like if this team is moving away from its defensive identity, not necessarily by need, but almost by handing the reins a little bit more to the offense. We can dig into that more as we come up here on our final segment from Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale, Oakmead Parkway. Evan Giddings and the Hall of Fame nominee Lorenzo Neal right here on the kickoff show on 95.7 The Game. Laughing Monk Brewing again. Couple opportunities. By the way, if you're not going to the game and you just want to find a place to kick back, watch on television, enjoy some great company and great food, great pops, drop on by Laughing Monk Brewing. It is wide open right now. A few tables are filling up, but opportunities for you if you're a Niners fan, maybe even if you're a Rams fan. Stop on by and have some fun and say what's up before the game. All right, we'll be back with our final segment after this on the kickoff show on 95.7 The Game.
Wow, look at these Black Friday deals on TV. Samsung, Sony, and LG at the lowest prices of the year, even on their top-rated models. Now we can get that top-rated Samsung we were thinking about, but we'll need to get up early on Friday.
These are great deals, but why wait? Video Only has all these deals right now. We can get what we want today, and they're even offering no-interest financing.
So we can get these Black Friday deals right now at Video Only and pay it off later?
Yep, and many of their prices are better than those flyers.
Better than Black Friday? No wonder Video Only got those high scores when they rated TV stores. Let's head over now and beat the crowds.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or dishwashers, but you will find the best deals on the best TVs, soundbars, and home theater systems. Shop around, but then make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry. In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael.
Video Only.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime, from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, Aces Garage Door Repair and Installation has smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video, streaming, and battery backup to let you in when the power is out. Trust Aces Garage Door Repair and Installation for top-notch service and unbeatable reliability. Whether you need a quick fix, a complete replacement, or a brand new installation for your garage door or garage door opener, our skilled technicians are here to get the job done right. With competitive prices, a commitment to quality, and diamond certification, Aces has you covered. Call today at 855-588-2237 or visit acegd.com. That's acegd.com. Aces Garage Door Repair and Installation, where your garage door is our priority.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Whether it's due to job loss, a divorce, a new business venture, or you just didn't file your taxes, don't lose hope. Powerful relief programs are now available that can help you and may reduce or even eliminate what you owe the IRS. With the cost of living affecting millions across the country, Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying anyone with $5, $50, or even $500,000 in back taxes to the IRS to call to get relief options. With over 1,000 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, TRA is America's trusted choice for real tax relief. Relief options are now available that can give you a fresh start and peace of mind. End your tax nightmare today by calling our tax relief hotline. Dial 800-390-8432. 800-390-8432. That's 800-390-8432. Or visit TRA.com. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Red and Gold Game Day starts at Laughing Monk Brewing. Park for free. Enjoy amazing food, ice-cold beer, and every game on TV. Catch 95.7 The Game's pregame show. Then hop on the free shuttle straight to the stadium. Sign up now at 957thegame.com.
Elevate your kitchen at the Mila Innovation Center at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill. Out of your dreams and into your kitchen. Select the qualifying built-in kitchen appliance package that is right for you. With unrivaled technology and luxury-grade quality, when you bring home a Miele, you're bringing home true innovation. Now, for a limited time, save up to 10% with the purchase of a qualifying Miele kitchen package. Visit the Miele Innovation Center at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at friedmansappliance.com.
Now back to the kickoff show on 95.7 The Game.
All right, Evan Giddings, Hall of Fame nominee Lorenzo Neal with you. Last segment coming up here at Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale, right off Oakmead Parkway. Fantastic spot, fantastic people, awesome times. And, you know, Lo, the NFL is the greatest sport that we have because
no question.
You never know what's going to – you could have every single piece of information. You could know who's going to be playing, what kind of talent they have. You could look on paper and see how this matchup favors that matchup and break it down strategically or not, and it's still going to shock you. I mean, some of the games this morning are off the chain.
Oh, no question. What was the biggest disappointment last week? If I asked you, what game did you thought was the worst played game, what team was you most shocked with?
Probably Green Bay.
Really?
Green Bay losing at home to the Carolina Panthers.
Mine was the Dallas Cowboys. You're the Cowboys. You're playing at home.
That's a good one, too. They got killed.
You're playing at home, playing against a team that lost 5 straight. You just get beat by Denver and get embarrassed. You're coming back to Big D. The crowd's there. And you get beat by friggin' Arizona Cardinals with the backup quarterback. Like you said, we started this conversation about football, so many games you don't know. You can have everything on paper. You can look at it and go through it, and you're like, oh, this is no way. That game right there, that was the one for me.
Well, that's a good point, and I think it was the nightcap. everybody was watching on Monday night expecting Dallas maybe not to roll, but certainly not to lose to a backup quarterback.
Get crushed.
They
couldn't stop. Arizona didn't punt the ball. It was like watching a sieve. I mean,
yeah, they got dog walked.
Bro, it was like, I think you could have put a college defense. I mean, they got it first 10. One drive, it was 10, 12, 10, 20. They never got less than 10 yards a pop. A college team can do that right now against a pro team.
No, they just walked right down the field, and that's why Dallas's offense is obviously capable. They can put up a lot of points. I think Dak Prescott's playing solid this year, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, all the rest. But if you do not have a defense, you are going to get exposed. And that's why I think the Niners, what they've done this year is they've been solid defensively, they've been solid offensively, and really outside of a couple games, neither of those units, and if you want to throw special teams in there too, you can.
Right.
None of their units have put the others at a disadvantage. And I think that's one of the reasons why each and every week you're looking up and saying, well, the Niners got this guy out, they got that guy out, we got our backup quarterback, and yet we're still in this ball game.
That's what really makes me mind blown and mind boggled, is because the injuries each week that happens to the Niners, and they're big time injuries. They're not little injuries, offensively, defensively, and you still see them you still see them thrive. You still see guys come off the bench, third and fourth string guys, and make plays. You see turnovers at crucial moments. You see an offense, sputters and then does enough to win. And it's really been amazing just to watch this team compete week in and week out. And yeah, there's been a game that the Texans, they really wasn't really in it.
Yeah.
But besides the Texans, has there been a game that you think that they didn't really have a chance? I mean, they've been right there. Some games, so they only got this team only got 3 losses. It's not like this team has been losing. It's 500. This team is one of the top teams in the NFC, bro.
Yeah, and Mac Jones has been 5-2 as their quarterback. Yeah, I would say Houston's been the game where they just looked the most out of sorts. And it was as much about them as it was about Houston. I mean, C.J. Stroud was really good in that football game, but, you saw penalties. You saw a lack of discipline. You saw a lot of things that hasn't happened over the majority of the season. That's why I believe that today it's going to be a tough game. If the Rams win this game, I don't think anybody would be necessarily shocked. But what we've learned over the course of 9 weeks is if the Niners steal this game, I also don't think you can be surprised, because that's the kind of team they've demonstrated they can be week in and week out.
Niners win this game, and they can show that they can beat the Rams. I think that you would have to look at this Niner team, and you would have to say top 3 teams, top 4 teams in football. And it's hard to say that. It's hard to even people say you're crazy, Lo. You can't say that. I can say it because the way they played collectively, and they're still stingy. It's one of the better defenses. It's not like it's a bottom feeder defense.
No, they're very good.
You look at what they've been able to do, and how they're playing complementary football. We've said this from day one. This team is not good enough to not play complementary football. When you look at a team like the Ravens, the Ravens can, with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and what they can do in the Buffalo, they can go out and score 40, 50. They can go light you up. They don't have to necessarily play complementary football to win. The Niners are not that. They're not built that way. They're a team that's got to play field position. They're a team that's got to play solid special teams. They're a team that's got to play good defense and say, okay, we're going to not let teams beat us up. We're going to keep defense. We're going to bend. We're not going to break. We're not going to necessarily sack the quarterback, but we're going to play optimistic defense. We're going to tighten up on third downs, make them punt. We're going to, in the red zone, we're even going to buckle down even more. Offensively, we're going to play field position, but we're going to just grind it. We're going to get the ball to McCaffrey. We're going 4 yards, 5 yards, and we're just going to be methodically. We have to play complementary football, and we're in any football game. When they play complementary football, they're in every football game this year.
I mean, and that's how they beat the Los Angeles Rams. You go back to Week 5 on Thursday Night Football, the Rams should have won that game. The Rams lost in overtime because they put the ball on the ground. They had a missed field goal. They missed an extra point. they did not play 3 phases of football well enough to beat the Niners. Their offense was probably outplayed the Niners' offense, but the fact remains they didn't get what they needed from their defense. They didn't get what they needed from special teams. And that's where the Niners have had an advantage in most of their matchups. It's not necessarily that their offense is going to score 40 a game. It's not that their defense is going to hold you to less than 100 yards on the ground or force a bunch of they have 1 pick this year. I mean, they don't turn over teams. But what they do is they don't shoot themselves in the foot. They don't play from behind the chains. They don't play off schedule. They have done a fantastic job of just doing the little things. And that's why even though when you watch the football game every Sunday and you're seeing different numbers and you're like, that guy should be on the practice squad. This guy was just called off the practice squad. This guy we got off the street. That guy we got off this corner. This guy we traded for another. They have so many players that have been buttoned up this season. Right. And I think it speaks to the talent of the players as much as the coaching staff putting them in successful positions.
Without a doubt it does. It speaks to the players, but it speaks to attention to details. But it speaks to them, this team following the blueprint, understanding what's at stake, but understanding the fundamentals, understanding that they know they're not good enough. They know if they don't play good defense and if they don't play complementary offense and defense and special teams, they lose. They know, and you look at Boyer and look at the special teams that's trying to get better, continues to get better each week. They understand how big it is to be buttoned up. I think that this team gets the little things and its attention to details. They're saying, guys, we're not good enough to overcome a lot of adversity. Can we overcome some? Absolutely. And that's what keeps this team, I think, grinding. It's what keeps this team hungry. It's what keeps this team in the fight and keep this team relevant, is because they get who they are. And that's what at times you see some bonehead mistakes, but they get that we are not just some juggernaut. We can't make a lot of mistakes and have a bunch of self-inflicted wounds and lose the turnover battle and get penalties, because we get a lot of penalties. It's hard for us to overcome because we're not a big play offense.
And I also, one thing about this season that is naturally hung over the head of a lot of people's estimation or evaluation of the 49ers has been the schedule, right? You haven't played a bunch of big-name teams, but that's why this game has significance. The Niners, people are right. They don't play a first-place schedule. They don't play a third-place schedule because they came in last season. But their division is really good.
Yes.
And so you're getting 4 games a year against teams. The Rams, we consider contenders. I think you have to put Seattle in the conversation. You said it earlier, with the way that Sam Darnold is playing, he's an MVP candidate right now.
No question.
They've been playing very well. So, in a way, these are the kinds of games and opportunities for the Niners to put the league on notice. And why I wouldn't dismiss the comment about being top 4 or top 5 in the NFL is, if you do it against these kinds of teams, well, yes, you're cleaning up. You're beating the Giants. You're taking down the Saints of the world. You're beating the bottom feeders. But if you also remain undefeated against the best teams in your division and one of the best teams in the NFC, I have to consider you legitimate.
Oh, without a doubt, you have beat the top 2 teams in the NFC. It's probably the Philadelphia Eagles,
yep.
and it's probably the Rams. Because let's not. I mean, I looked at Green Bay. Green Bay is. They're the they're Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, they got an unbelievable defense. Their offense is so inconsistent. You can't score at times. They're not consistent. When you look at the Rams, and the Rams are a team in Philadelphia, those are the 2 juggernauts in the NFC. And I got Detroit on the line. Detroit can throw their name in the hat. But if you think about what the Niners have done, and you think about their losses, who did we lose to? You lost to, a team when you had Brock Purdy come in off of injury.
Yeah, Jacksonville and Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Yeah. And Tampa Bay was a game that you were still in. You had some chances. Went out to, so I look at it, and Tampa Bay is one of the better teams in the NFC, and Tampa Bay's had a lot of injuries too. So, but they're one of those guys, Baker Mayfield, you got to throw in that MVP conversation too. But I just like the way that this team is playing in spite of all the difficulties and all the things that they've had to overcome and all the hurdles they had to, jump through due to injuries, and to still be here fighting. I mean, Shanahan should be, he's a guy that you got to look at for Coach of the Year. You got to look at Robert Saleh and say, did the Jets prematurely get rid of a guy that's a great coach. I mean, what he's done for this defense, it's better than any draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they have with the assistant coach of the year now, or it was the coordinator of the year, they invented this award. It's like, it's Robert Saleh and it's the field. You know, and in this situation, I understand Shane Steichen in Indianapolis has done a fantastic job.
He has.
But the Colts, as much as you may believe or not in Daniel Jones, he's still the QB1 for that team. He's the starting quarterback. The Niners are doing this with their backup quarterback. And they still have, I mean, they have their version of Christian McCaffrey. Jonathan Taylor is also a potential MVP candidate. He's been unbelievable. Had another 250 yards today. But to me, Kyle Shanahan, he is the coach of the year. And it's interesting, too, because I think he's been dismissed in previous seasons low because of how talented his rosters have been, right?
Right.
In 2019, they go 13-3, but they have a top 3 defensive unit. They have all pros on offense. You fast forward to 2023 when they make the Super Bowl, your offense is littered with all-pro talent.
Right.
This year, he's doing it with me. He's doing it with you. He's doing it with Sam.
Right.
He's doing it with everyone here at Laughing Monk. It don't matter who's on the field for Shanahan in this offense this year. He's getting it done. So I think this could be not necessarily the best team he's had, but the best job as head coach he's had.
And here's where JT's done a great job. Jonathan Taylor, you talk about the running back, what he's been able to do and how he runs. I get it. 200 and some yards. You say, hey, put him up in that candidate. Yeah, but look at the surrounding help. Look at the cast that he has. Look at the defense there. Look at the big receivers. Look at everything surrounded. Look at his offensive line. It's one of the best offensive lines in football. So you think about what McCaffrey's doing, he's doing with a whole hell of a lot less. That's my point.
That's true. No, McCaffrey's he's doing it with me and you. Like he's doing it with just with guys that, and I mean, even what was it a few weekends ago when Ben Barch goes down. Okay, you have Hennessy, who steps right in at the center position. Not an easy position to step in.
No, making all the calls and knowing where the line to turn, and he stepped in and played solid.
He's done a fantastic job. Trent Williams is still a great left tackle, but he's not the left tackle he was a couple years ago. And Christian McCaffrey, it's like when he's got just a crease, just a little bit of space, he maximizes each and every possession, each and every snap that he gets for the San Francisco 49ers. All right, well, we got about 15 minutes here coming up on the kickoff show on 95.7 The Game. Do want to go around the rest of the NFL, look at some of the games in the 10 o'clock slate, also look at, of course, the 1 o'clock slate Sunday night and then Monday night as well. Big matchup on Monday, in fact. All right, so as for the results right now, 5 minutes left in a lot of these games, fourth quarter, winning time, losing time for a lot of these squads. New York at Chicago, up 20-10. Again, we talked about how the Niners, they went in and pretty much dismissed the New York Giants. That's a capable football team. Jackson Dart has run for 2 touchdowns today. A Bears team that's on the heels of the 49ers competing for the last postseason position. And right now it's Chicago that's looking up in New York.
Yeah, and I was kind of shocked about this because you've seen a Giants team. You saw them last week. They fluttered. You think playing in Chicago, the way that the Bears have been able to play. I mean, you look at the coach and the quarterback coach and what he's done for this young quarterback. Seen him make huge strides. So you're thinking about the Bears, we're going to win that game. But here's the Giants, a Giant team that people thought was dead. They're fighting, they're competing. They are a good football team. Not a great football team, but they're a good football team. They beat the Chargers. They've beaten some teams. They've shown that they can play good football. So, that is kind of shocking. We're looking at that game. I had Chicago winning that game.
I did too, but and look, you look ahead to the 49ers schedule. They got a big matchup with Chicago coming up in Week 17 at home. Thought that potentially that could be a battle for a postseason position, not if the Bears are losing games like they currently are right now. All right, 4 minutes left. Maybe the biggest shock so far of the day, Miami 2-7 at home. Absolutely taking it to the Buffalo Bills, up by 10. Buffalo does have the ball, but not a lot of time left.
Yeah, now this one I think just shocked the whole NFL family. When you think about Buffalo, big win against Kansas City, so this is that tough spot. You're coming off an emotional game. You beat the Chiefs, team that's been Super Bowl repeating Super Bowl champs, and this also just a team in the AFC that just lives in the Super Bowl, win, lose, or draw. You thought that, hey, here's a Buffalo Bill team that's trying to, unseed Kansas City. Here's a Buffalo team that many think that is the best team in the AFC. Them with Indianapolis, and of course you got to throw in a team in Denver, but Buffalo seems to be the forerunner because of the fact you have a veteran quarterback, a leader quarterback who's been darn near to the promised land, who just haven't got over that hill, and they're going to play in Miami when a coach we thought already was going to be fired is getting beat and getting beat handily. That was hard to imagine, hard to swallow.
The general manager steps down this week, and they respond with a big divisional potential victory at this point. Meanwhile, J.J. McCarthy returning for the Minnesota Vikings. They're absolutely getting they're getting lambasted right now by Baltimore. 5 minutes left. Baltimore's up 27-13. A team that you talked about a couple weeks ago, Lo. They took the toys out of the locker room.
Yeah.
They got rid of the pinball, threw out the Xboxes. Lamar Jackson's back at quarterback, and this is a team, even at 3-5, they're not dead yet.
No, they're really not. Here's a team that I just think that defensively they just give up too many yards. I don't know if Baltimore is for real or they're pretenders or are they pretenders or are they contenders or pretenders. I just don't know if they have enough defensively to get them there. You know what King Henry and Lamar Jackson can do. But here's a team, kudos to Harbaugh, didn't have to say anything. Leaders going there to take initiative and says, we're here to play football, not to play PlayStation. We're here to play football, not to be on the Xbox. We're here to play football, not to play pool. We're here to say that, our lounge doesn't need to be we need to be in our books studying, so that hour that you have for lunch and those little meetings, 10, 20 minutes in between, and instead of running into the PlayStation, why don't you get in your books? Why don't you watch yourself getting blown off the line? And they did that. And you see a team, that's accountability. So kudos to Harbaugh. Love that man. Love what he stands for. And there's a team in Baltimore that said, hey, we're not dead yet. Don't throw dirt on us. You kick a little bit on us, but we're going to get up out of this. We're going to get up out of this grave. We're Lazarus. We have risen, and they've shown that they can play and play with a lot of teams.
And then another team that's pretty much been discounted by many in a matchup with another team that has been in disarray. New York at home, the Jets taking on the Cleveland Browns. They have the ball up 7 with 2 minutes left. Looking right now like New York is going to hold on to that game. Would be their first home win of the season, Low.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, you got to realize here's a Cleveland Browns team that has one of the better defenses in the National Football League. But when your inability as an offense to score points, it weighs on them. And what it has done is made them quit. I'm just going to be real. This defense is where they're playing subpar. They should be playing a lot better than what that they're putting out on the field. So the Jets, I told you at the beginning of the year, Aaron Glenn is going to get these men to play for him. He's cleaning house. You see what he did. You let one of the better nose guards in the league. You trade him to Dallas.
Clark.
Who's the nose guard? Didn't the Jets just get rid of?
Quentin Williams.
Quentin Williams, a guy who I wanted the Niners to get.
Yeah.
He's a force. The Dallas Cowboys makes a trade, and then they trade Sauce Gardner, right, too.
Yep, to Indianapolis.
So you look at what the Jets have done. It was about, okay, you don't want to play here? Okay, you think you can go do something elsewhere? I'm going to go get guys that want to play. So let me get the draft capital so I can continue to build in the draft to make ourselves better. And I like what the Jets are doing. I like the direction that Aaron Glenn's going to take this ball club.
Yeah, I mean, after starting, winless, for them to get 2 wins in the last 3 weeks, it's been impressive for sure, and obviously a process for a team that is in full rebuild mode. Meanwhile, in Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers just officially going down to the New England Patriots, a team that looks like they're going to move on to 8-2 with 1 minute and 47 seconds left, up 21-16.
They just went for it on 4th down. Baker Mayfield just gets sacked. It's 1 minute 47 left. 4th down and 3. You know what? Vrabel says, let's bring the house. They bring safety, corner, and says, let's light him up. 4th and 3. The pressure gets there. Mayfield can't get away. Gets sacked. Now, turnover on downs. 1 minute 47 left. Strike up the band. Friggin' the Patriots. They're for real.
They do have 3 timeouts, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do, but you're right about the Patriots. That's a team that I thought they would be better this year, Lo. Getting Mike Vrabel, a legitimate head coach in there, combined with a second-year quarterback that looks to be emerging in Drake May. I thought that they would be better, but they look like they're ahead of schedule. I mean, since they beat Buffalo on Sunday Night Football and announced themselves as the AFC potential kings, this is a New England Patriots team. They're young.
Buffalo's going to lose today.
Good. Oh, no.
Buffalo's going to lose today.
They're already ahead of them. They already got a game up.
Yeah, and now the Patriots are going to win today. Buffalo's going to lose today. and the Patriots and the Patriots going to win. The Patriots went into Tampa Bay on the road against Baker Mayfield
in the rain,
who's got a heart of a lion, and they took Tampa Bay's best blow, and they're going to end up pulling out a victory. Big win by them.
And then down in Houston, like I talked about, Davis Mills filling in for C.J. Stroud right now. It's the Jaguars that are up 29-18. A Jacksonville team, like I know they came in and beat the Niners here at Levi's, a game that Brock Purdy probably shouldn't have played in, where you can make the case that he was the reason they didn't lose that football game. Jacksonville is probably going to be 6-3. I can't quite put my finger on them, Lo. I mean, last week we both liked the Raiders. Raiders could have won that game in Las Vegas against Jacksonville. I know that they're a team that is right now has kind of the inroad for that division, has a chance to make the playoffs for a second time in the last 4 seasons with Trevor Lawrence, but there's something about them I'm not sure I trust. I don't trust them at all. They're missing something. They're so inconsistent. You see now, they're going to close this thing out. You watch this game. Wow, the Patriots, 60-yard touchdown to ice the game, and no chance for Tampa Bay. But yeah, I look at Jacksonville. They are so inconsistent. If you jump on them, they'll quit. It's no way the Raiders should have lost that game last week to Jacksonville. It's just a team that I don't think will get in the playoffs. I don't think it's a team that's going to win. I think they're done. I mean, I think they're going to be a one and done when eventually they get to the postseason. And the thing is, too, the AFC and NFC towards the top, like this is – you talked about it right off the rip. Like this is the time of year where it gets interesting because you're starting to see the teams separate. Sure. You're starting to see who's for real, who's not. And as it relates to the Niners and the Rams, I think you have to say right now they're both for real. For different reasons, obviously. The Rams are a team many consider to be right below the Philadelphia Eagles. The Niners are for real for a different reason and obviously have a chance to prove that today. All right, a reminder that you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM, and HD1 San Francisco, courtesy of the Odyssey app, home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries. We're coming to you live from Laughing Monk Brewing in Sunnyvale here on the Kickoff Show. Evan Giddings alongside Lorenzo Neal. As for the 1 o'clock games, Lo, we're going to go through the rest and then get to the Niners and the Rams for our final prediction. NFC West matchup elsewhere, Seattle hosting the Arizona Cardinals, a team that just came off that big Monday night win. Yeah, this is a game if you want to get right. I mean, last week, I took a couple big L's, and this is a game that if all the listeners out there, if you want the low special, tease this one down to 6, go ahead and tease it, or tease it down, 1 point, take off 3. This is a game. Motor City, Seattle, what Darnold's able to do, they're going to win. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think it's a double-digit win myself personally. I think Seattle understands there's blood in the water. They understand that they're at the top of the leaderboard. They're not going to take their foot off the pedal. This Seattle team, they're for real, and they know they're for real. Look for Seattle to win and win big today. Yeah, I think Arizona, they got that first win, new quarterback. But, Seattle's the team, I think because of all the adversity the Niners have gone through, along with the brand recognition, combined with the Rams' pure star talent and power, Seattle's kind of been under the radar this year. I know that the Pacific Northwest team, I know that they're one of 3 in the NFC West, but that is a really good football team, and I agree with you. I think Sam Darnold and co. are going to roll today against Jacoby Brissett. All right, 1:25, same time as the kickoff for the 49ers and the Rams. We go out east. Washington, having lost their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, might have been in a bit too long. Dan Quinn apologized earlier this week for leaving his quarterback in on Sunday night against the Seattle Seahawks. Dislocated his arm, might be out for the remainder of the season, so they go back to Marcus Mariota against the Detroit Lions group that comes off a division loss, got taken down by J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings, and they're on the road looking for blood against the Washington Commanders. Yeah, Minnesota, I mean, you watch them today against the Ravens. The Ravens look like they're going to win that game. It's a close game. It's going down to the wire, but I was really shocked that Detroit lost that game. The Detroit Lions, they can score. They can do a lot of great things. Really shocked me to see them lose to Minnesota. I think this is a team that's going to be looking for some revenge, team that's going to play tough. I got the Motor City running away with this one. I agree. I think it's a game where, again, just kind of like the Niners did last week with New York, get back to basics. This is a Washington team that is at 3-6 now. They're looking to be put out of their misery. Yeah. They don't have their leader. Right. They don't have their quarterback. Right. And this is a team that I think Detroit understands, all right, we got to get right against this group. And, of course, remain in contention for the NFC North crown, which is really between them along with the Green Bay Packers. All right, as for Sunday Night Football, your Los Angeles Chargers going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. The Steelers coming off a massive win last week, getting it done in front of a national audience. Meanwhile, the Chargers getting back on track, but against the Tennessee Titans, a team that hung around, maybe in the game a little more, also banged up the Chargers more so than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this might be the closest game we see of the slate today.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think that, you're playing at home. Just don't know how much juice the Chargers have in them. You look at the Steelers, though. I think you got to hit the perimeters. Chargers are going to win this game. They're going to have to run the ball, and they got to run the ball to the outside, get to the perimeter. You got to make those Hayward run. Hayward's still a force in the middle if you run at him. I just don't think he moves laterally good anymore. So you can cut that defense off, and you can get them on the perimeter and outflank them. Watt hasn't been Watt-esque. You got the most expensive defense in the NFL. That calling card last week was to play great ball. They did. 3 interceptions last week against the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts lost that game. You take they had it, and they almost came back to beat the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers' defense is playing great. Aaron Rodgers is having a solid year for the old man, the ageless wonder. But I'm going to say, hey, look, you're playing at home. Chargers got to find a way because the Steelers travel well. If you don't jump on this Steeler team, if you let this game close, you're not going to be able to hear because that place is going to be full of Steeler fans. You got to find a way. So I'm going to take the Chargers. It's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be one-sided because the Chargers is just not that type of team this year to blow you out. It's going to be a hard fought. It's going to be a slugfest. I think the Chargers can win this game, but I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be a runaway from either one of these teams.
No, I think it's going to be a dogfight. And the Steelers might have made, the biggest statement last week by knocking off the Indianapolis Colts, like you mentioned. They did it with 5 turnovers, though. That's something that you, of course, cannot predict week to week. I think the Chargers find a way to win at home and also keep pace in a very competitive AFC West with the Broncos winning on Thursday night. As for the Monday night matchup, Low, Green Bay hosting Philly. A potential NFC Championship type preview. I know the Rams feel like they can be there. Niners fans feel like they might be in the mix. Seattle has a seat at the table. But Green Bay, I think they have the ability to win this game. It just depends on which Green Bay Packers team shows up. Last week against Carolina, I don't know what happened in that game. The Panthers ran the ball down their throat. Jordan Love's throwing picks in the end zone. They were a completely different team than the one we saw the week before that went into Pittsburgh and decimated the Steelers. The Philadelphia Eagles, meanwhile, have to try and prove themselves on the road. Saquon Barkley's getting ready. He's beginning to hum. They didn't trade A.J. Brown at the deadline. They're all speed ahead. I like the Eagles to go on the road and separate themselves from a Packers team that's kind of been a coin flip this year.
I do too. Wasn't it a bye week for the Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Philly's coming off a bye. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles and what they've been able to do. Like you said, Saquon is starting to find his stride. Big run a couple weeks ago, a 70-yard run from line of scrimmage. If this game both teams played last week, I would say, hey, Green Bay, they need to bounce back because how bad they played, which they still do. I just think with the week of rest for a Philadelphia team, they made some moves, in free, before the trade deadline. They want to win this. Both teams want to win, but Philadelphia is just I think they're starting to feel it. And you saw the quarterback. He's had to carry this team because the lack of productivity by Saquon. You realize he's had to carry this team, and so I still believe that it's going to be Philadelphia in this win today.
And as for the game here this afternoon, by the way, you can hear some cheers and jeers in the back because the Chicago Bears, from down 20-10 with 6 minutes left in the game, have just taken the lead at home in Chicago. That is a team that this is a big potential flip, win or loss. Jackson Dart exited the game with a concussion. That's when the Chicago Bears began to make their run. So a lot of Niners fans obviously keeping their eyes on that as the Bears are right on their heels for the 7th seed right now in the NFC playoff picture. But the one that everybody has their eyes on today, of course, San Francisco, Los Angeles, NFC West Showdown Part 2. The Niners went into Week 5 in Los Angeles, beat the Rams on their home turf, Levi's South at SoFi Stadium, and now it's the Rams' turn to try and return the favor. I think this is a very tough matchup for the San Francisco 49ers. While I do believe they win this game, can win this game with what we talked about, ball control, playing sound, not shooting yourselves in the foot, I got to pick the Rams in this game. I just don't think that this is a team, if they do indeed have Super Bowl aspirations, they lose for a second time to San Francisco.
No question. You know what? I want the Niners. They're going to have to ball control, all the things that we said. You just have to be too perfect. The Rams have too many weapons. I just think that the Rams, they're going to win this game. I got to give a shout-out to the three people that we got real quick. They can pull these names up. There was a listener. He said he listened his whole life with his family. What's their name, sir?
Jonathan, Alexis, and Michaela.
Jonathan, Alexis, and Michaela, thank you for listening to 95.7 The Game. They talked about listening to back in the day through COVID and said, hey, they love me. So, hey, I want to tell you, Pops came down here, and he said, give the kids a shout-out. So I hope you guys are listening. Shout-out to you guys. Appreciate you guys listening. Me and E holding it down. I don't want to be with you. I should say the Niners, but I don't want to be the homer. And just on paper, the Rams are a better team. On paper, the Rams have a better defense. They have a better offense. There's a lot of weapons they have to stop. I just don't see it. It's going to be tough. Now, if they pull it off, would it surprise me? No, because our Niners, we know what they're capable of.
Well, that's what you got to give them the benefit of the doubt that they can win this football game. The Niners are a team that if they defeat the Rams, they are in the driver's seat for the NFC West. And if they win this football game, I think, again, it's just another shot across the bow that you cannot discount this group with Kyle Shanahan, with Mac Jones, Robert Saleh, Christian McCaffrey, and all those guys on defense doing their job. This is a team that has the potential to do something special in a season where everyone is sort of writing them off. So, again, a big shout-out to everybody who came through a Laughing Monk Brewing. It's really fun, Alot, to just get to interact with a lot of these fans. People coming up talking to you about hearing you back in the day, giving you a lot of great times, giving them some great experiences with all that you've contributed, both, of course, on and off the field. It's just a great environment.
It really is, man. This is a great place. I mean, it's a place that I just come and hang out, even if we wasn't doing the radio show. It's great people. The service is great food, big, spacious bars. You got a lot of good people here. Food's amazing. And just the whole atmosphere, man. Everyone's in the parking lot having fun, throwing balls around, enjoying it. Lots of games out here, lots of fun, lots of drinks pouring. Great time.
Well, and we got to get you out to the game, too, because I know you got to get out to watch the Niners and the Rams, and we're going to be there as well. Levi's Stadium is going to be rocking in just a couple of minutes, but that will do it for this edition of the Kickoff Show, live from Laughing Monk Brewing. Next time we're going to be here is going to be all the way on November 24th, or pardon me, it's going to be December 14th. I apologize. That's a Monday night game against the Panthers on the 24th. We'll be back here on December 14th. So pencil in a month from now on your calendars your opportunity to hang out at Laughing Monk Brewing, kick it for the show, go to the game, sign up on our 957thegame.com kickoff show graphic and Eventbrite link for your spot on a free shuttle to and from the game. Grab a pop, hang out, enjoy the fantastic camaraderie, chemistry, and, of course, just awesome experience that is Laughing Monk Brewing. So thank you all who've been listening, who have called in as well. Shout out to Pasta back in our 95.7 The Game Laughing Monk studios. Shout out to Sam, our on-site engineer, from my broadcast partner Lorenzo O'Neill. My name is Evan Giddings, saying so long, and we've been talking about the Niners and the Rams coming up next, Fox Sports programming, and then the Warriors coming up later tonight. They take on the Indiana Pacers at 5 o'clock. Pre-game with Mark Grandy, Warriors Live and Post begins at 4 o'clock. Tim Roy's got the call for you at 5 o'clock. But you've been listening to the Kickoff Show, Niners and Rams, all right here from Laughing Monk Brewing.
Bang, bang!
Thank you for listening.
Imagine being the wizard of your own home. With Xfinity, intelligent self-healing Wi-Fi fixes problems like magic. It boostifies speeds to your devices when you need it most, and makes your favorite Wicked content sparklify on every screen.